Hey everyone, welcome to Leadership Adventure. I'm Marv McCarthy and I'm your host. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Today is Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024, which means it is time for the blog. And our episode today is called Shooting Stars. So let's jump right in. Shooting stars aren't really stars at all. They're actually small pieces of cosmic debris, often from a comet or an asteroid that enter our atmosphere. And some of them are really tiny, like as small as a grain of sand, and others can be the size of a boulder. So when these puppies hit, they hit at extremely high speeds. Now the friction that's created by that impact with the atmosphere causes the air around them to ionize, which is what leaves the visible trail that we see. This glowing trail is actually what we refer to as a shooting star. So almost all of these chunks burn up in the Earth's atmosphere, which of course is a good thing. Otherwise we'd potentially have an Armageddon or a deep impact comet scenario like we talked about a couple weeks ago. The meteors hit fast, glow brightly, and then they burn out. So this analogy, that of a shooting star, raises several really important questions for us as leaders. Now, before I ask you those questions, however, I'd like to introduce you to several pretty well-known people. First of all, Dolores O'Riordan was born in 1971 in Limerick, Ireland. She ended up becoming the lead singer for the Cranberries, and she and the group made famous such songs as Zombie, and I've linked to their original music video below for that song. She died at age 46 from an accidental drowning due to excessive drinking. The next introduction is a gentleman by the name of John Griffith Cheney, and he was born all the way back in 1876 in San Francisco, California. He became an adventurer and a novelist, and we know him by his pen name of Jack London. And he, of course, is famous for the novels White Fang and Call of the Wild. Now, Jack London died at age 40 due to medical conditions that were complications brought on by a really excessive lifestyle. Both Dolores O'Riordan and Jack London were shooting stars. They came into life hot. They glowed brightly and they died young. Now, I'd like us to compare their lives with leaders like John Maxwell or Peter Drucker. Dr. Drucker died back in 2005 at the age of 95. Both he and John are known for a lifetime of contribution to the field of leadership. So both London and O'Riordan had relatively short lives, but they still left profound impact. It was characterized by intense creativity and passion, which resonated deeply with their audiences. And I've read all of Jack London's books, for example, and I really like his writing. And despite their short careers, they left a lasting legacy that really continues to this day to inspire and influence people across the generations. Now, in contrast to that, unlike the immediate and intense impact of London and O'Riordan, Dr. Drucker's influence grew over time, marked by a steady evolution of ideas and principles, books, etc., in management and leadership. The same has also been true of John's life. Both these men were, or are, John's still alive, heavily involved in mentoring and raising up future generations of leaders. Now, with that background, let me ask you the questions. Question number one: how does the impact of a leader's work change when it's condensed into a short, intense period versus spread out over a long and steady career? This is basically a question of intensity versus longevity. Question number two: is it more impactful to revolutionize a field quickly or to contribute to its gradual evolution and development? So this is essentially a question of revolutionary versus evolutionary. And question number three: how should we measure the legacy of a leader? Is it by the immediate impact and popularity, or by the long-term integration of that leader's ideas into society? And this boils down to a question of significance, which I call the echo of a leader's impact over time. Now today, I pose these questions for you to consider. You'll have to wrestle or not with their application and implications for your own life. And in closing, Jack London said this, and this quote was also used at the end of James Bond, No Time to Die, just as a bit of trivia. And he said as follows, quote, "The proper function of man is to live, not to exist. I shall not waste my days in trying to prolong them. I shall use my time," close quote. So my question to you, how will you use yours? That's all for today. Thanks for hanging out with me again, and I'll see you next time.